Okay, today we are welding up the gun barrel. Now I've already taken my fuller and beat in a groove, a 1/4 inch groove down the center of this, 1/2 inch by 1 flat bar. That's 13 mil by 25 mil, and a 6 mil groove. This is 18 inches long, which I believe is 500 mil, 550 mil, something like that. I'm going to take a farrier's rasp. I'm going to clean up the face on this, and I'm going to work my file 2 different directions and cross hatch it, so that way I get some mechanical bonding at the beginning when I put the 2 pieces together for welding. I'm going to be using Iron Mountain flux, because this is by far the best forge welding flux I've found. Okay, I don't know if you can see the cross hatching in there or not, but we're going to call that good. You'll see where the fuller pulled in some material. I didn't get the scale off. I'm not too worried about that because that's going to be drilled out. That much space is going to be drilled out when I bore and ream this barrel. There's a couple spots on the end that I'll probably touch up, and probably here and here. So we'll do this to the other bar and come back to you when we're in the fire. Okay, so here's the plan. Here's the freshly filed barrels. Preheated this one a little bit. We're gonna sprinkle on our Iron Mountain. Set it back in here. And as soon as that melts to the surface, we're gonna advance it and pre-flux the next section, so on and so forth, until we have the whole barrel half fluxed up. Then we'll do the same for the second one. And here's the completed fluxed barrel. I will take my poker and clean out the barrel channel of all the flux and get rid of all this coal that's stuck to the top. Okay, flux the outside of the barrels. And I am too impatient for these barrels to cool down completely, so I'm using a rag to hold on to them. I'm using bituminous coal so I can really form a cave and look in there. And I will come back to you when it's welded. I don't know if you notice right here, I've got a railroad track anvil. I'll keep this at the foot of my forge as my tacking anvil. I use it to tack big things that need to go back into the fire, and for small stock as well. I'm going to grasp the hammer midway point so I get lots of light, fast taps on this. Letting it soak, get that core nice and hot. More flux on the outside here. And back in the fire it goes. Now the reason why I use the tacking anvil is those 2 pieces wanted to slide. So I was holding on to them real tight with my hands keeping their position as best I could. And I'm only like a 64th off, which is perfectly fine. Ooh, that is some hot stuff, I tell you. Okay, that's the second welding heat out of probably 100 that I'm gonna do on this. So we'll come back to you when I switch over to tongs. Well, that's it. The barrel's finally been welded end to end. So gotta take the second pass on this end here. But I work 2 inches at a time. So I don't know, I said before, this is a Musketoon barrel, and it's, I believe, 19 inches long. Now that we forge welded all the way to the end of the barrel, we're gonna work our way back. Now the reason why I'm continuing to use flux is Iron Mountain has metal powder in it, and I'm using that to help weld the seam, fill in the seams on the side. There we go. Back to the other end. Now we're going to start octagoning it at a welding heat. That's all we're doing. Getting the start of our octagon. All at welding heats to ensure this barrel is fully welded. After the fullering, every weld is going to, or every heat is going to be a welding heat. Well, it's been about 6-7 heats since I saw you last, or you saw me last. If you missed any spots during welding, you're definitely going to get it at this stage, because I'm having to work a hammer face at a time. I'm having to work each area 3-4 times to get my octagon in symmetrically. In fact, it's still not symmetrical all the way down. But back in the fire. I'm going to have to switch to tongs. This thing gets pretty hot. I feel I'm getting a bit greedy here in the middle. We'll see if that comes back to bite me later. But we're halfway through the barrel. It's been about a dozen welding heats since you seen me last. Back in the fire. Been another dozen heats since you last seen me. Can't tell, this is getting pretty hot and exhausted. We're making good progress. We're about 3/4, maybe 2/3 of the way there. back in the fire. Well, that should be the last one. I should be doing this at a welding heat, but I am tired. And I don't think it'll come back to bite me. Actually, no, I am going to take one more welding heat on that. We got a twist going to my octagon. I think I might keep that. I'll finish that last forge welding heat and take her out in the sunlight so you can see it. Here it is. So you can see the twist I got going in the octagon. It's not as bad as I thought it was. I may correct that, or I may try to accentuate it. I've got most of the seam hammered in. I may come back later and clean this up. It still needs straightened. But, I don't know if you can tell. Where are you? You can't see, but it's mostly plugged up with flux now. But the hole, the hole we made for our bore is still good. And that's it. Hand forged Musketoon barrel. We started at 18 inches and looks like we grew. Let me go get a tape measure and I'll be right back. Okay, like I was saying, we started with an 18-inch bar and now we are at 22 inches, which is about 570 mil, 575 mil. Hope you guys enjoyed.